Welcome Taurus. Welcome to Keykey's doorway. Let's see what your soulmate wants you to know for October 27th to October 29th, 2018. God, Gaia, God, Goddess, Mother, Father. What does Mr. and Miss Taurus soulmate wants them to know for October 27th to October 29th, 2018? What actions will be taken for Mr. and Miss Taurus soulmate from October 27th to October 29th? What actions will Mr. and Miss Taurus soulmate will be taking for October 27th? Well, I can definitely feel that your soulmates are thinking very heavily on the task at hand. Let's see why. Understanding now. Masculine Taurus. Your soulmate, if you are connected to her, him, your soulmate is connecting more to their high priest and priestess. They are natural healers, very intuitive, empathic. They're using now their spiritual and religious knowledge of who they are, or they're embarking on researching more of who they are spiritually, religiously, and how does that tie into their high priestess, which is close to a priest, like a church. This is what your soulmate is about to connect into. If this is you, masculine Taurus, you are about to, your soul wants you to express the high priest and priestess side of yourself. Let me read what Dorian Virtue says of how high priest and high priestess, that's how y'all connected. Masculine, yes, masculine, feminine. The lights in my house are twinkling even more. Yes, you and your soulmate, masculine Taurus, y'all both were high priest and high priestess. If you are thinking about understanding more of yourself spiritually, now is the time to do that. Whether through biblical texts, mythology, deities of your culture, wherever you come from. Every culture, every country has a spiritual principle, has spiritual teachings, have biblical teachings. Something is telling me to tell you to look at ancient texts, whether through disciples, messengers, people that you have always felt, even if they're books that you have read before that made you think of the mystic side of yourself. Now is the time to go back to those books or at least find summaries of those books, and you'll see a connection to how those literature is a part of who you are, if that makes sense. So let's read Forgetting Virtue. High Priest and High Priestess. You probably already know that you were a high priest or high priestess during one or more prior lifetimes. Most people who have held those roles have a conscious sense of it. You have also retained your heightened spiritual knowledge, which this card is urging you to put into greater practice. It's time for you to reignite your spiritual power and use it in service of your divine mission of healing, teaching, and helping the world. This is how you, masculine Taurus, have connected your soul to your soulmate soul. That's what you both have in common, of healing the world. This card urges you to release any insecurities you may have about your spiritual abilities, or any fears about others knowing your beliefs. So, if you're insecure or you have discernment about telling people that you love around you your abilities or who you know you are by your spiritual upbringing or abilities, now's the time to connect to people that you feel will not judge you in the manner in which you fear, but would rather give you a more stable foundation of your discovery. Feminine or female Taurus, your soulmate wants you to know that you have met him or her. Your soul and their soul has met before in a past life through the arts. Whatever the arts is to you, whether it be math, science, looking at the stars, music, instruments, singing, dancing, martial arts, fencing, bow and arrows, anything is considered art. This is how you and your soulmate, feminine Taurus, have met. Even literature, writing, history, sociology, archaeology, everything and anything is an art. Whatever you feel in your soul, Miss Taurus, is how, whatever is in your mind's eye that gave you a vision of the arts, or if you are in the arts right now, the dimension of the arts that you take, that you partake in, is also rooted to the masculine energy as well. Because the high priest and priestess has to also research, understand what it means to see things as the art. I didn't think of combining these two together. Okay. Masculine Taurus, your soulmate is undergoing a conflict, day and night, light and dark aspect of themselves. They're trying to figure out how to align them together and not dismiss it. You can't dismiss this horse because this horse is present. You can't dismiss this horse because this horse is present. You can't dismiss the light or the dark. You can't dismiss the good side of you and the not so good side of you. Both of them have to align together to exist. This is how we understand in forgiving and healing the masculine feminine principles of ourselves. So your soulmate, masculine Taurus, is feeling unable or unwilling to make a decision. Again, they're confronting who they are. To understand who they are as a high priest and high priestess, even you, masculine Taurus, you're at a crossroads. You're confronting yourself. You know a decision has to be made, and you do not want to be in that stagnation anymore. And you feel and you know that pretending there is no problem only makes the problem even more present. So how do we fix this problem? That's what your soulmate and also you, male Taurus, is thinking about. Feminine, female Taurus, your soulmate is uniting their spirituality, their religious side of themselves, their sensuality, their sexuality, even their soul expression of who they feel their soul wants to bring out of them. They're uniting this and bringing out their fifth house of Leo, of their willpower, because they know things are changing around them and within them. Yet they know that they have the roots, they have the foundation to grow in the next direction. That is also what you're embarking and realizing within yourself, feminine Taurus. Traditional viewpoints or methods or things that you're revising, re-looking at, and upgrading if need be. Spiritual organizations. Again, if there's any spiritual organizations that are in your mind's eye, in your third eye, in your dreams, or in your imagination, now is the time to take a trip. Take Google, if you don't want to physically go out yet. Google the organizations, the spiritual practices, the countries in which these things are held in, and see how they connect to your neighborhood, to your community, and the ways in which you can physically embody it, whether it be going to museums, going to restaurants, going to libraries to pick up particular literature or books that can be translated in your language about the culture you're intrigued or entwined with. This is what your soulmate is doing at this very hour. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. Yes, it's definitely like-minded friends and mentors. Masculine Taurus, how you and your soulmate will be separately yet spiritually connected to embark on making this decision. How will you make this decision is by becoming the emperor. Your soulmate, even you, masculine Taurus, is about to embody the emperor in the fourth house. So yes, this is an Aries first house with individuality. Taurus, the second house, which is about your core values, what you consider worthy, self-worth, that ties into who you are. How you communicate that to yourself and outside of yourself, in your demeanor, in your character, in your traits, your personality. It's also, that's where your spirit is being expressed too. And you're using the fourth house to be more caring, more nurturing, and very intuitive in these steps. So you do not stress yourself out, but rather serene yourself in the steps and know that each step that you take is worthy and that you're not on a clock. You set the clock. So if you feel you have to rush, then you will have the urgency to rush. So know that you are the emperor. You set the tone. Organizations, again, with organizations and logic. If there's any organizations that you feel connected to, even if it's not in the spiritual or religious factors that you have grown up to know, but that you have researched and you feel in your soul you are truly connected to, now's the time to reach out to those organizations. And it does not hurt to just be a guest to these places, a visitor. Because as a guest, that's like a family. And like any family, any organization will open their doors to you. It's all about what experience you want to get from that. That's what your soulmate and you are going to head towards for October 27th to October 29th. Structure and discipline. So you're going to figure out how to be structured in your own way that suits you and how to be disciplined. Feminine Taurus, your soulmate. By uniting all those aspects of who they are, they're using also their life experience in the 7th house of Libra, of being that light as a feather for themselves. And what does that mean for them? So they're tapping into, from the time they were young, from what they remember to now, what has made them tie into the arts? What has made them connect the arts to unifying who they are and making them in themselves, their soul, complete, or sedated, or feel surrounded by love? So they're going to look at each event in their life and see a powerful revelation in what they find. That's going to lead into those changes that they were looking for. Again, the 5th house of change. Number 5 is all about change. So, Feminine Taurus, your soulmate knows that they're going to be changing. They just had to figure out how. So they're going to use their life experiences from the time they were young to now, and giving them the initiative, the ideas, and the ignition to move forward. So they will have the time to spread their wings, like the Queen of Fire. Excuse me. So, until we meet again, Mr. and Miss Taurus, know that your soulmate, including yourself, are going to start to give yourself a challenge. How you challenge yourself is all about the type of way you want your willpower to weather the storm with you. How do you want to be disciplined? How do you want to be structured? And in what way do you want to exude leadership through your high priest and high priestess side of yourself? And how do you want to tie in the arts in that journey? Until we meet again, I love you, Mr. and Miss Taurus. We will see you on the other side.